We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Hello everyone. Since our last three lecture, we are discussing about looping statements in C. In our last three lecture, we had discussed about firstly with while loop, then we had discussed about do while loop. In our last lecture, we had discussed about for loop. Today we are going to discuss about nesting of loop. Okay. So when a loop inside another loop is used, it is called nesting of loops. Okay, so in such situation we have to use a loop inside the loop. This concept is known as nesting of loops. Okay, nesting can be for any numbers of level. It means that we can use any numbers of loop inside the another loops. It means we can do nesting for any numbers of loop. Okay, for example, if we have a loop, okay, with the control variable I, okay, and inside this loop we have another loop with the control variable j, okay. In this concept is known as nesting of loop. Now over here the loop which is inside the another loop is known as inner loop, and a loop outside the other loop is known as outer loop. Okay, so if I talk about this example, okay, then how this loop can be executed. The programming control is starting from here. Okay, then first the value of I is initialized and it will the value of I is 1. Okay, now condition will be checked. That condition will be 1 less than or equal to 3. Now condition is true, then control is given over here. Now program will go to the next loop. That loop is of control variable j. Okay, over here the value of j is initialized by 1. Okay, now the condition for the j is checked, that is j less than or equal to 3. It means 1 less than or equal to 3. Condition is true, then control is given to inside the body of the loop. Statements over here will execute, and then now control is given to think the control variable. Now our control variable will be increased and the value of j will be now 2. From here now control will given to given over here. Condition will check 2 less than or equal to 3. Then condition is true and control again given over here. Okay, statement will execute and control again given to increment. Okay, now the new value of j will be 3. Okay, then control given to the condition will check 3 less than or equal to 3. Condition is true, control given to inside the body of loop. After executing the statements, now control given to increment. Now the new value of j will be 4. Okay, and condition will check 4 less than or equal to 3. Then condition is false. So mm, control now given from here to here. Okay, now over here if any statement is there, then statement will execute, otherwise it will give control to increment the value of I. Okay, now the value of I will be incremented and it will be now 2. Okay, now this value of I given to the condition, and over here now condition will check, condition will be 2 less than or equal to 3. Condition is true, then control will given over here. Okay, now control will pass to the inner loop, and over here the value of control variable j will be initialize with j equals to 1. Okay, same thing is done for the value of j equals to 2 and value of j equals to 3. Okay, after it, again control go to the incrementing the value of I. Now value of I will be I equals to 3, and same is doing for j equals to 1, 2 and 3. Okay, after this iteration, now control is given to the increasing the value of I. Now the I will value of I will be 4. Now this condition will be false, so now control will be given to outside the outer loop. Okay, so by this example we can observe that for each value of I there will be a value of j. Okay, we can check for I equals to 1, there are value of j 1, 2 and 3. Okay, then again for value of I there will be a all value of j's. Then again value of I there will be all value of j's. Okay, so after, so from this we can note that each control variable of outer variable has appropriate inner loop control variables value. Okay, now we have to keep one thing in mind over here, that is the outer loop should not end between the starting of inner loop and the ending of inner loop. It means that we cannot end this outer loop inside the inner loop. Okay, now we will see an example related to nesting of loop. Okay, and it is write a program to calculate average and total of 5 students for 3 subjects. Okay, now first thing is calculating the average and total. How we can calculate the average and total? If we want to find average of 3 subjects, okay, then we have to firstly make total of that total of that 3 subject. Then to find average we have to use this total, and we have to divide this total by total number of students. Over here we can take the example of 3 subjects, so we have to do total divide by 3, which can give the value of average. Now next is we have to calculate the average and total of 5 students for 3 subjects. Okay, if it is, if the things average and total is find only for 3 subjects, then it is okay, but we have to do this procedure for 5 students. Okay, so we have to do like that. For student 1 we have to enter 3 subject marks, then we have to find average and total of the subject, then we have to do for second student, then we have to do for third student, up to 5 we have to do this both thing. So how can we achieve this? Okay, so firstly we have to take outer loop, and we will take this outer loop for students, because over here we have two things, students and subject. Over here we have 5 students, that's why we are taking outer loop with the range of 1 to 5. Okay, and we will take inner loop for subject, and over here we have 3 subjects, and that's why we are taking the inner loop with the range 1 to 3. Okay, we already mentioned the loop over here. Outer loop is start with the control variable I, and it is initialized with 1, and it is go up to it number 5. Same for inner loop, control variable is j, it is initialized with 1 and it is go up to 3. It means 1, 2 and 3. Okay, now we'll take input inside the uh, inner loop. Okay, because we have to take the 3 subjects marks for 5 students, so we must have to take input inside the inner loop. We have to do like this, nf percentage the comma and percent marks. We have to do this for 3 subjects, so we'll write inside the inner loop, and this inner loop will execute it for 3 times, one by one. Marks of 3 subject will be entered. Okay, parallelly we have to calculate the total also. So for that we have to do total equals to total plus marks. Initially we will take the value of total with 0. Okay, so inside the inner loop we'll do two things. First thing, we will take the input from the user for marks of the subject, and then we'll parallelly will find the total of it. Okay, over here a inner loop will be end, but we have to calculate the average. So where we can do it, we have to do the average over here, because if we'll do average over here, then all five students entry will be done, and we don't have the average of individual students. Okay, so for that we have to do the average over here. Okay, for that what we can do, so for that we are taking an equation. That equation is nothing. It is average equals to total divided by j. Okay. So after executing this loop, we will have a value of j is 3. It means it is a total number of students. Then we have to write total divide by 3, because we have a total value also, because we entered 3 subject over here, and parallelly the total of these 3 subject is also stored in variable total. This is the way through which we can find the average. Okay, now the loop will goes to the next iteration of I. Okay, and then over here we have to keep things into mind, that we have to make the value of total with 0. Why we have to do it? If we do not reset the value of total, then the value of total is increased. Okay, for example over here the first student total is over here, and we if we will not make it 0, then the other subjects value other subjects marks is already done total into the same. Okay, so we must have to the reshape the value over here, and that is total equals to 0. Okay, and now this same statements and this same loop is executing again and again for student 1, student 2, student 5, and then the loop will be terminated. Okay, now we'll see this concept into the turbo C++. Okay, so I already mentioned the header file and main function over here. We'll start with the declaration of variable. We are taking the data type integer, control variable I, control variable j. Then we have to use a variable total to find the total of 3 subject. Then we have to take a variable for a marks. Okay, then we are taking also a variable with float data type, and it is nothing but for average. Okay, now we are writing the function for clear the screen, that is clr scr. Okay, now we are going to write the for loop. Okay, and this is the outer loop, and we are using control variable I for it. We are initiated this loop with I equals to 1. Then we have to use I less than and equals to 5, because we have to find the total and average of 5 students. Then we'll increase the value. Then inside this for loop we have to reset the value of total, and for that I'm doing total equals to 0. Then we have to write inner loop. Okay, with the control variable j, we are initiated the value of j with 1, and then condition will write j less than or equal to 3, because we have to you find the average and total for each student for 3 subject. Okay, then we have to do j plus plus. Okay, now inside the inner loop we have to take the input of 3 subject marks. So we'll write like this: printf. Okay, enter marks of subject 1. Okay, so for that I'm using percentage d over here, and instead of percentage d we have to print the value of j. It means the output for this statement will be like this: enter the marks of subject 1, then it will be enter the marks of subject 2, likewise. Okay, for that I am taking the colon and space. Now we have to take input. For that we are writing scanf function. Okay, percentage d, okay, comma, and person marks. Okay, this statement, two statement will executed again and again for 3 times, and it will take input of 3 subjects marks. Okay, now parallelly we have to find the total also. For that we have to write total equals to total plus marks. Okay, so now we'll have total of these 3 subject after the inner loop, and inside the outer loop we have to find the average, and for that we have to write average equals to total divide by j, because we have to find the average of 3 subject. Okay, and over here we these two variable have a data type integer. So if we'll do the division of two integer value, then the floating point value will be not there. Okay, so for that we have to do casting over here. So we have write float inside the bracket. Okay, this is how we can achieve the typecasting. Okay, one thing is over here, if we want to give a message like this student 1, student 2, student 3, then we have to write inside the outer loop and outside the inner loop a message like this: printf student percentage d, it means student 1. Okay, instead of percentage d we have to print the value of I. Okay, and we have to use slash n also, so it will print the next printf statement in new line. Okay, so after calculating the average, we have to print the value of total and average of each student. So we have to print that value also, and that we have to do outside the inner loop and inside the outer loop. So we'll use printf statement over here. Firstly we'll print the total over here: total of 3 subjects marks are, okay, will write percentage d. Okay, from where we can find the total, so it will be from total variable. Okay, so that's how we'll write. Okay, we'll use slash n also because we have to print next value, next printf statement in next line. Okay, over here we have to print average. Okay, so average of 3 subjects marks is, okay, we'll use percentage f because our avg variable is of data type float. Okay, we have to write avg over here, that's it. After the outer loop we have to write ch. Okay, okay, before executing we have to keep one thing in mind, that over here we cannot take the value of j, because when this loop is terminated the value of j is 4, then and then this condition is false and loop will terminate. Okay, so over here we have 3 subject only, and over here j will return value 4. So what we can do, we have to decrease value of j by 1. So I have to write j minus 1 minus minus, then now j value of j will be 3. Okay, so I can use like that. Now I will save my program by pressing F2, then will compile a program to check the error. For that we have to press Alt F9. There is no error. Now we are going to run our program by pressing Control F9. Okay, it is asking for first student and marks of subject 1. For example, I am entering 50, then I am entering for second subject 60, then I am entering for third subject 17. So what will be the total and average of it? Total will be 180 and average will be 16. Okay, it is giving us total is 180 and average of the three subjects marks is 60. Okay, now it is asking for second student. Okay, so for that, for example, I'm entering 30, 40 and 20, so it will give us. Then it is asking for third student. Okay, for example, I am entering 73, 84, 90. According to it will give us the output. Okay, okay, it is asking for student 5. Okay, okay, this is for last student. Now our loop and our program will exit. Okay, that's it for this program. Now we'll see one more another example, and it is about write a C program using for loop construct to find out all Armstrong numbers between 100 to 500. Okay, over here we have to we have considered that number is of 3 digit only. Okay, we'll start with the first thing, that is Armstrong number. Okay, so what is the concept of Armstrong number? We, for example, I'm taking a number and that number is 153. Then firstly I have to separate the all 3 digit from this number. Okay, then I have to take a cube of each separate number. Okay, for example, cube of 1, then cube of 5, and then we have to take cube of 3. Then we have to do summation of all these three value. Okay, and what will be the answer of this answer must be same as our original number. Then and then we can say this number is Armstrong number. What will be the next thing? They are giving us a range between 100 to 500. So we'll start with first with the range. So they are giving us a range between 100 to 500. So our initial value of the control variable will be I equal to 100, and will have a condition is I less than or equal to 500. So likewise we are mentioning the initial value and condition. Okay, now next we have to create the body of the loop. Okay, inside the body of the loop we have to write the concept of Armstrong number. Okay, so how can we do it? Okay, for that firstly we have to separate the all digit from the number. Okay, now over here we have a number. We can get the number from the control variable. Okay, for example, first number is 100, and in next iteration number will be uh, 101. Okay, so for that firstly we have to initialize some things. That first is number equal to I. Okay, over here we have to keep the value of I safe because we are using I as a control variable. So for that I am giving the value of I to number. Okay, second thing is that we have to also compare the result of these with the original number. That's why I also have to keep the value of I safe. That's why I'm giving the value of I to variable number. Now I am doing the process of Armstrong number on this number. Okay, now firstly I have to separate all 3 digit from this number, and for this we already discussed how can we separate the digit from any number. Okay, we already discussed that things in the program of reverse number. For that we have to use the concept of modulo 10. Okay, so we have to take num number modulo 10 and we will store it into the remainder. For example, 153 modulo 10, it will give us the value 3. Okay, now what we have to do? We have to do the cube of this remainder. For that we have to write equation like this. For example, sum equals to sum plus r cube. Okay, so in every iteration we have to find the remainder and we have to do the cube of the remainder, and then we'll add into the sum variable. Now for the next iteration we have to make the value of n. For that for that we have to write number equals to number divided by 10, same as reverse number. Okay, so we'll do like this, so it will give us 15. If we'll do 153 divided by 10, then it will give us 15. Now this 15 I'm using in second iteration, like 15 modulo 10, that equals to 5. Okay, now I am finding the cube of it and I will add into this. Okay, same procedure is repeated till number is greater than 0. Okay, so what will be the condition for our inside loop? That is number greater than 0. At the end we will have some value in variable sum, and we have to compare this value with the value of I. Okay, now we'll write the equation over here. Okay, so we'll firstly initialize two variable, that is number equals to I and sum equals to 0. Now we are taking a while loop, same as a reverse number program. Okay, inside that while loop we'll write the condition number greater than 0. We already discussed this. Then our equation, that is R equals to number divided by 10, then sum equals to sum plus r cube. Over here in C we cannot write r cube like this, that's why we have to write r into r into r. Okay, then for next iteration we have to do number equal to number divided by 10. Okay, these three iteration executed again and again till the value of number is greater than 0. If the value of number will be 0 or less than 0, then this loop will terminate. Okay, so we'll write this all this for a while loop inside the our for loop. Okay, inside the our outer loop. Okay, now I have to compare the value of this sum with our original number. Our original number is stored into the I, so I'm comparing it by using if statement. If sum equals to I, if this condition is true, then and then we can say that particular number is Armstrong number. Then I have to write printf statement over here. Okay, and that thing I have to write inside the outer loop, but outside the inner loop. Over here our outer loop is for loop and inner loop is while loop. Okay, so I will print the value over here and that value will be sum. Okay, or I. Okay, I'm giving this example inside the nesting of the loop, because every time such situation is not like that. When for loop is used inside the for loop, we can use any loop inside the for loop, or we can use any loop inside the any loop. Okay, so concept of nesting loop is using a loop inside the another loop. Okay, now we'll see the demonstration of this Armstrong number program into the Turbo C++. Okay, over here I already mentioned the header file and main function. Will start with the declaration of the variable. We require the control variable I, then we have to take number variable number, then we are required a reminder, then we have to take sum equals to 0. We are initializing the variable sum with 0. Okay, now I am using clear screen function by writing clr scr. Okay, now next I'm writing for loop. Okay, over here we had given a range and range is between 100 to 500, so I will initialize my value I with the 100, and then the condition will be I less than or equal to 500. Will increase the value. Okay, so for that I plus plus. Okay, creating the body of the for loop. Inside that we firstly we have to give the value of I to number. Okay, we already discussed why. Also we have to write sum equals to 0 over here, because for every iteration we make, for each and every iteration we have to make it, or we have to reset it to 0. Now we are using while loop over here. Okay, inside the while loop we have to write condition, and condition is nothing but n greater number greater than 0. Okay, now we are creating the body of the while loop. Okay, and inside this while loop we have to write that three equations, that is r equals to number modulo 10. Okay, then sum equals to sum plus r cube. So for that I into r into r. Okay, for next iteration we have to write number equals to number divide by 10. Okay, that's it. Okay, outside this while loop we have to check that sum, the value of sum and the original number is same or not. For that we have to take if statement. If sum equals to I. Okay, if this condition is true, then we can say the number I is Armstrong number. For that we have to write over here printf. Okay, we'll print the value of I. Okay, for example percentage d and comma, we have to write I over here. Okay, before this for loop will print a single printf statement which gives a message, that is Armstrong numbers are. Okay, so we'll write like this: Armstrong numbers between 100 to 500 are. After that it will print a value from here. Okay, now we have to write cat ch outside the outer loop, it means outside the for loop. Okay, we'll firstly save our program by pressing F2. Okay, now we'll compile our program by pressing Alter F9 to check there is an error or not. There is no error. Now we are going to run our program by pressing Control F9. Okay, it will gives us a number between 100 and 500, and all those numbers are Armstrong number. First is it is 153, then 370, then 371 and 407. That's it for this program. That's it for this lecture also. That's it for looping statements in C also. Our next lecture will discuss about break and continue statement. Thank you.